Hi everyone, a very, very warm welcome to the 50th episode of Chai Shai etc. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey of ours for the last 1 year. Thank you so very much to each one of you. And today, for this special, very special episode, I'm super excited to bring in Dr. Anu Mehta as the guest of honor. Dr. Anu Mehta is the chair lady of NES-health International. She has done numerous trainings and she is certified for various modalities. I can't even start counting them on my hand. She is a PhD in psychology. Sorry, she's a PhD in philosophy. She's a matrix reimprinting trainer. She's a sound healer. And above all, she's an empoweress, a lady who believes in empowering each one to be the best version of themselves, a lady who, throughout the lockdown, has been not only training and mentoring thousands of people online, she has also given voice to many like me. Welcoming on board my mentor, my friend, Dr. Anu Mehta.
Namaste,
Hi,
everyone.
Anu.
Hi.
Namaste. Hi, Anu. Thank you so much for accepting our invite today and being a part of this Chai Shai conversation.
Thank you so much, Kanchan, for inviting.
Immense gratitude.
I feel the same, absolutely same with you. I feel deep connection and I also feel in deep gratitude because it just feels that the whole universe is right behind you and you seem to be having holy colors right behind you. It feels as if it just feels that we are connecting in a very interesting space and I love meeting you. So thank you so much for inviting.
Thank you. These are indeed the holy color, HOLY, holy.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. And I set the stage to welcome you. Anu, throughout the lockdown, you have empowered so many men and women across the world to find their connection with themselves, to find their medium of expression, to find their voice. And I am one of them. I'm one of those people. I still remember the day you called me up and I was in my office doing work during the COVID seva. And झल्ले जैसी बैठी थी and you said that, Kanchan, we want to do this, and I want you to speak about your life journey. I was like, okay. I didn't even think twice. That is the kind of trust you built with your mentees. And we have Namrata Thakkar. Thanks, Namrata, for joining us today. We have Arasu with us. Anu, with you, I have traveled to haunted places, assisting you while you cleanse the energy. While you cleanse the energy of the palace and the people there. And with you, the journey has been so amazing. Standing inside a sound bowl and feeling that the soul being healed through journeys of lifetimes. There are so many more stories uh, that I can go on and on and on. But I would like to ask you one thing here. Anu, what made you connect to people and help them find their voice.
Vincent, I've been very selfish. I wasn't helping anyone find their voice, and that's in all honesty. I was trying to find myself. When in 2008 recession happened, I felt alone. And I know that when things are not okay around the globe, people are not fine. And it all started because a friend of mine, her brother called me up and said, COVID has started. My father's without job. I'm only 25. I'm a gym trainer. And I have a feeling I'm going to come down with a heart attack. How will we manage? I started counseling him and he said, I cannot afford. And I sat down and I said, I don't know how many people cannot afford and how many 25-year-olds, younger and older, and that's it. That shore sharaba kind of equated the shore sharaba that I had felt inside me. The restlessness, the feeling that you're lonely in your own chaos. आवाजें तो हैं पर कोई आवाज नहीं. ऐसा लगा जैसे बहुत सारी आवाजें थी पर कोई आवाज नहीं जो आके ये कहे कि डोंट वरी, you'll be fine. Because I heard that same shore within me on the day this young lad, 25-year-old, called me up. एंड बस फिर उसके बाद एक सिलसिला था, कुछ सोच के नहीं किया, मुझे तो जूम कनेक्शन भी करना नहीं आता था. I think it wasn't, there are often when I've questioned back and said, how did that happen? Because I never did anything. I really didn't do anything. I was just sitting there and I had so many experiences that my life would have been limited if I had not allowed myself or given myself permission to expand myself. So it was never about anyone else. It was about expanding. And the biggest gift that I got during that time, my mommy and her daughter in law both pulled out my baby photographs and sent me. I always thought I had only 3 baby photographs of mine because my mom and dad never liked taking any photographs. She went into my grandmother's storeroom and pulled out photographs, and when they came to me, I still haven't looked at them properly. I feel each photograph is popping out, and the little Anu is looking at me and challenging me every day. You know,
अनु जब
मुझे
आप
बचपन बचपन और बचपन की यादें वापस मिल गई. That was my gift.
अनु जब आप बचपन और बचपन की यादों के बारे में बात करते हो तो बचपन में ऐसा क्या था कि आप अपने बचपन को भूल गए थे?
मैं अपने बचपन को कभी नहीं भूली, बट बचपन के अलग-अलग किस्से थे. First, it was that part where I was born and I was the only child, only grandchild. And then my younger sister, my mom was pregnant with my younger sister, and my mom had deep regret that she spent 9 months of her pregnancy in her mother's house. I'm talking about how many years back? 50 years back? Maybe 5 years back? Where people would open the door. I mean, when they would come to me, my grandmom, they would look at her and say, "Tu yahi hai? Tu gayi nahi?" And then she leaving Ludhiana and coming back to Mumbai, but carrying my little sister and leaving me behind. And leaving me behind felt more like I didn't feel rejected, but I felt like I missed my mom. I missed she not being around. And then every time I would come to Bombay, there was a man who was old enough to be my grandfather, and he was my father's relative. and he would touch me inappropriately, and I didn't understand what he was doing. It was extremely traumatic, extremely difficult, and I forgot that part of my life completely for many, 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 many years. So yeah, I didn't forget my childhood because I had so many loving people in my life. But I think I blocked out a part of my life which I didn't know whether to be proud of it or not proud of it. So yeah, in a very delicate age, I went through separation from my parents. I saw my mom not being comfortable at her mom's place, and I did go through child abuse.
Anu, today you have uh, been working with so many women across the world, helping them through matrix re-imprinting, through Meta health, on uh, overcoming the trauma of abuse. हमारी सोसाइटी में हम अब्यूज को बहुत कॉमन, बहुत छोटी सी जनरल सी बात समझ के दबा देते हैं और कहते हैं कि इसके बारे में कभी बात मत करना, और वो बात नहीं करना समहाउ कहीं बैक ऑफ द माइंड में वो इंसिडेंट रह जाता है. Why do you think is voice and expression so important?
यही तो फर्क है इंसान में और जानवर में. जानवर जब भौंकता है या चिड़िया कुछ बोल रही है, आपको समझ में नहीं आ सकता कि वो क्या बोल रही है. यू आर कॉन्स्टेंटली गेसिंग. इंसान एक्सप्रेस कर सकता है एक लैंग्वेज में नहीं, पता नहीं कितनी लैंग्वेजेस में. फिर भी उसके एक्सप्रेशन को सप्रेस किया जाता है क्योंकि दूसरे लोग अनकंफर्टेबल हो जाते हैं. आज भी आपसे जब उस दिन चर्चा हो रही थी तो आपने मुझे एक बहुत अच्छी बात कही कि ऐसा क्या आपके साथ हुआ जो दूसरों के साथ नहीं हुआ. And that was very interesting for me to look at it like that and say, ऐसा क्या हुआ, ऐसा क्या स्पेशल है आपके साथ, मतलब हर तीसरी लड़की के साथ ये चीज हो रही है. स्पेशल है ना, क्योंकि हर तीसरी लड़की ने आवाज नहीं उठाई ऐसे कंचन. हर तीसरी लड़की ने उसे शायद कॉमन नॉर्मल समझ के चुप कर गई. पर आज भी जब मैं आवाज उठाती हूँ तो मेरे साथ बहुत सारी लड़कियां यही कहती हैं और लड़के भी कि ये मेरे साथ भी हुआ था. मैंने इसलिए नहीं बताया क्योंकि मेरे पास एक्सप्रेशन नहीं था, इसलिए नहीं बताया क्योंकि कोई सुनने वाला नहीं था, और लोगों ने सुना भी तो अनसुना कर दिया. लोग इसलिए नहीं एक्सप्रेशन लूज करते हैं कि उनके पास एक्सप्रेशन नहीं, वो इसलिए एक्सप्रेशन लूज कर जाते हैं क्योंकि उनको समझने वाला कोई नहीं. और ऐसा नहीं है कि समझने वाले लोग नहीं हैं. The problem is that even when we understand things, we don't want to understand them because it impacts us, and we are very selfish deep down. We don't want anything impacting our comfort zone. We like to be in a place where everything is comfortable, fine, and brilliant. That's how it should be.
चेहरे पे हमेशा एक मुस्कुराहट मेकअप की तरह लगी रहनी चाहिए. अच्छे कपड़े पहनो, अच्छा दिखो, अच्छी बातें करो, सबके सामने मुस्कुराओ. अंदर से चाहे आप टूट के बिखर रहे हो, अंदर से चाहे आप जार जार हर पल मर रहे हो. ऐसा क्यों है अनु कि एक्सप्रेशन को इतना दबाया जाता है? वाई हमारी सोसाइटी में हम लोगों को बोलने की आजादी क्यों नहीं देते? हर बात को छुपा के और दबा के क्यों रखते हैं?
कंचन, एक आर्टिकल गया था a week back, उसमें मैंने यही कहा था This happens because we are caught up in making our daughters and sons good girl and good boy. और कहीं पे शायद हम भी ये महसूस करते हैं कि हमें गुड बॉय एंड गुड गर्ल ही रहना चाहिए. We want to be good people of the society. We don't want to be the ones who mess up with other people. We don't want to be the ones who um, आग लगा के आ जाए सोसाइटी में. ऐसे वाले लोग नहीं चाहिए लोगों को.
We don't want the bitches and the witches because
No, we don't.
finally, when you are termed the witch, be it the Joan of Arc, be it Mary Magdalene, you are burnt alive or you are buried alive.
Well, Kanchan, is it not that when you say burnt alive, is it not that when people are not expressing, their expression is burnt alive?
When you're not expressing, you're not burning alive. You're dying every day, every moment, little by little. हर सेल में कुछ ना कुछ. और अनु, इसके कई सारे इफेक्ट्स भी होते हैं. आप प्लीज हमें बताइएगा कि सप्रेशन, अपनी आवाज को दबा के रखना या अपनी एक्सप्रेशन को दबा के रखना, उसके क्या क्या इफेक्ट्स हो सकते हैं?
You're talking about diseases, Kanchan?
Yes. Psychologically, emotionally, mentally, every way. Physically.
मैं सिर्फ आवाज बंद करने के लिए अगर आप कह रहे हो, only you're looking at that aspect where you're not able to express yourself, that can actually mean that you're getting scared, and because you're getting scared, you're not expressing. इसके diseases क्या हो सकते हैं? You can have asthma. You can have breathing problems because of this. You can have stammering because of this. And I'm only looking at expression. Okay? I'm not looking at anything else. You can have something which is called the flying constellation, where the person has outer body experiences because they haven't expressed. So they're literally walking out of their body, and they can actually have an outer body experience because the trauma is so much that if they remain inside their body, they will not be alive, they'll be dead. So to keep yourself alive, your body does many tricks. It can also create what is called obsession in your body, depending on, because we never have one conflict going on, we have more than one conflict going on. And invariably, it can also cause eating disorders as well as a huge amount of skin issues because you're staying in your boundary. Your skin is all about your boundary, all around your, कि तुम्हारी सीमाएं. तुम जब सीमाओं का उल्लंघन करोगी कभी भी, that is going to create a drama in your life. So I hope I've answered you over here as to about the diseases. These are just a few of them, you see.
These are just the tip of the iceberg, right?
Right.
Anu, during the lockdown, you have been doing a talk show which is called Connections Beyond the Lockdown. What is that all about?
क्या हुआ ना कि मुझे लगा मेरी बॉडी को बंद कर दिया गया. In my flat, people were not getting down. Expression नहीं बंद होना चाहिए. Expression कभी नहीं कैद होना चाहिए. So we went beyond the lockdown and connected with people across the world. I don't know how many nationalities took part in it. There were people from Japan, US, Malaysia, Thailand, India, of different professions because each one had a story to give. And I felt I was sitting at home and learning from all these beautiful people. All I had to do is log in, like we've been logging in for the last 1 year, and talk and connect with people. You can lock people's bodies. How can you lock their soul? And this made me believe that in the last There is, the boundaries are created by us. Boundaries are never created outside. The boundaries are all inside us, where we are not connecting to someone because we have created that limitation. This was a time to break down all the limitations that we had created and create connections, which would be a lifetime connection. I was connecting to my spiritual family and to people who I really value. And I think they added value into my life beyond what I could ever even imagine or think.
You have spoken on the platform, the international platform of Meta Health among thousands and thousands of people about your life journey, about the abuse, the trauma, and how you've overcome it. What was your experience, Anu, once you came back to India? How did you feel in your being? How did your body, your mind, your soul react?
So I'll be very honest here. I got back my memory in 2008, it was. 2008, I had joined Carl Dawson's workshop of EFT and matrix reimprinting. He had come to Prague, which is where I was staying in east of Europe. And I by chance toppled over his class and I reached there and he worked on me. And that was the first time I actually recovered the memory that I had suppressed for so long. This memory of mine, I still don't have complete memory. I still don't know what happened. I could, have never forgotten the room in which it happened. I remember the shelf, I remember the steel utensils, I remember the man, I remember me being there, I remember me, the balcony, I have scenes and bits and pieces. So when you first ever talk about your abuse, it's probably with a lot of anger. And I think I first time spoke about my sexual abuse not on any stage but on a virtual platform like this. And Johannes Fischlinger is the one who had given me the opportunity to speak. He was at that time the president of um, Meta Health Association, and he was the one who gave me that opportunity. When I spoke for the first time, I felt the anger in every cell of my body. I felt the anger, and it was more like I was becoming aware, and a part of me was crying, and a part of me was angry. Then I spoke in Solihull, that's in UK, um, where Robert Wagmare had created a conference with Joanne Ross, and they had given me an opportunity, and I've also created a small documentary on the same, which is called The Unheard Screams, and it's there on the YouTube. And I really thought that people were going to throw, tomatoes and andas on me, and मैं तो बस I don't even know whether they'll understand कि मैं बोल क्या रही हूँ. I reached there, I spoke, and this time the flavor was different. I was coming from a place of compassion, more love, more understanding, and yet when I completed the whole story, um, I wanted the stage to disappear. I wanted to go inside the earth and not appear at all. I went into my room and I actually looked at my room and I said, तेरा दिमाग खराब हुआ था कि तूने इतना जाके बोल दिया. एंड क्या है कि बेचारा इंडियन अगर यहाँ मर गया तो किसी को पता भी नहीं लगना, कोई आएगा भी नहीं तुझे ढूंढने. In that place, I searched on that day for all my friends across the globe, and I think the whole night I gave a call to I don't know how many people. When I got up in the morning, my life was different. Something has shifted completely. I walked down, and people looked at me differently. I looked at people differently. But biggest thing was I remember a lady walking up to me and saying, "This is a Pakistani girl. She has gone through abuse. Can you help her?" And I sat down with her and heard her story. I came back to India, and that was the time when Nirbhaya case had happened. Sleep Speaking 3 had given me an opportunity to speak, and I thought if I had carried this outside the country and people had so very welcomed it, where I thought कि मुझे अंडे टमाटर पड़ेंगे, वहाँ कुछ ऐसा नहीं हुआ. People welcomed what had happened. In fact, they came and they literally touched me like this and said, "I can't believe that you're speaking our truth." I felt extremely loved, and yet I wanted to disappear. I came back to my country and went straight to Delhi to do the next talk for Speaking 3. Kanchan, there were only 12 people in the room. I've never felt more disappointed. I felt I was a failure, and I felt that was a state which really needed to come out of the closet and talk about it loudly. तो वही है ना जहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरत वहाँ पे हम छुपा लेते हैं क्योंकि हम सबके सामने नॉर्मल दिखना चाहते हैं, कोई अपनी बात नहीं करना चाहता. I left that place thinking I had picked up the wrong topic commercially because people like to close their eyes and do a meditation rather than open their eyes and look at what was happening in the society. Extremely disappointed, I came back. I never actually stopped speaking about it. In fact, with Joining Hands, I did a talk 2 days back, which has just come on the YouTube. And when I spoke about sexual conflicts, I don't know how many women on that forum again said, "We were touched, we were touched, we were touched." But the healing continues because when I went back to Carl Dawson for recertification 3 years back, before my father passed away, Caroline Dawson said, "Let me work on you." And I realized I was still carrying the trauma. I realized I was still carrying the trauma. And it never really gets over because there are so many layers. And, I went into abstraction, I couldn't sit straight. Um, but I released something majorly. I have a big thank you to give to Carl Dawson, to Richard Fluke, to Dr. Kwesi, to my mental health lobby who stood by me like a rock. Unfortunately, my own lobby back home could not stand up for me in the same way. But क्या फर्क पड़ता है? क्या फर्क पड़ता है? मेरी 2 टांगे खुदा ने दी हैं खड़े होने के लिए, मुंह दिया बात करने के लिए, तो मैं करती रहूंगी. अगर आपको ये बदतमीजी लगती है तो आप मत सुनो. मैंने आपको तो कभी नहीं बोला आके सुनने के लिए. और मजे की बात तो पता है क्या है? इट डजंट मैटर मैन, क्योंकि आप तब भी नहीं थे जब मैं चिल्ला रही थी. आप आज भी नहीं हो जब मैं चिल्ला रही हूँ. सो आई एम नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग इट आउट ऑफ एनीवन. मेरी तो ये है कि कोई मेरी बात सुन के शायद अपने आप को नॉर्मल समझना बंद कर दे और दे कैन गो आउट एंड सीक फॉर हेल्प. दैट्स माय ओनली इंटेंशन. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर आस्किंग दैट क्वेश्चन.
Help is always available.
Yes, it is.
The only challenge is we scared to ask for it. क्योंकि हमें हमारे खुद की सराउंडिंग्स में जिन लोगों पे हमको सबसे ज्यादा विश्वास होता है, हमारा ट्रस्ट वही टूटता है. और शायद यही एक कारण है कि हम मदद मांगने में भी घबराते हैं. शायद यही एक कारण है कि हम अपना सच किसी के साथ शेयर करने में डरते हैं. शायद यही एक कारण है कि not just women, even men feel so suppressed in themselves. ऐसे लगता है कि गले के अंदर आवाज तो है लेकिन वो आवाज कहीं किसी को सुनाई नहीं दे रही. And the work that you have done, I have had the honor and privilege to get trained under you and Caroline Dawson on matrix re-imprinting, and मुझे शायद उस वक्त समझ नहीं आया. आपके हर सेशन में मैं वापस आके कुछ 2-4 दिन तक बैठ के सोचती रहती हूँ सेशन के दौरान. इस तरह बैठ के या तो आंखों से पानी गिर रहा होता है या सोचती रहती हूँ कि मैं करूँ तो क्या करूँ, यहाँ आई हूँ तो क्यों आई हूँ. But there is always a shift happening in each conversation, in each connection, in each expression. We grow and evolve through our voice. We grow and evolve through our expression. And Anu, is lockdown mein you did another series which is called I Am Every Woman. What is I Am Every Woman?
So, Kanchan, it's a very, very interesting. I won't call it project. I was going to call it project. It's not a project. It's something that again happened by chance. A friend of mine who I've never met in reality and only met over the platform that I had created before. Her name is Anya. She's a German lady. She connected with me and said, you know, Anu, during the lockdown, we have 15 women have come together and written our life stories. None of the stories are same. They have created a book together. The name of the book is I Am Every Woman. And each author, that is 15 authors, and they're not even authors, they're ordinary people like you and me who have never written anything about themselves before. But they've been through various traumas in their life. And they have written about 10 to 15 pages in that book. They've written about tumors that they've had. They've written about, so far I have interviewed 6 authors. The first 2 authors I did not call any Indian author at that time because I didn't know what I was getting into. Each story is so different, so touching, and it connected with a part of me somewhere. And I felt as if God had kind of said, "Beta, tu ghar pe बैठी है पर अकेले नहीं है कभी भी." And each woman that speaks, they're all from different nationality. None of them have met. They all started with a coffee morning under a lady called Claudia Ruth, who is in UK. They used to speak about their stories. And then they came up with this, why don't we write a book? And what's interesting, Anya has a big wish that we in India create a book like that, where maybe Kanchan, you can write 15 pages, I can write 15 pages of my life. And like this, we connect with 15 women here who can write a book, which is I Am Every Woman. So far, we have one Indian who I've interviewed. She's in Pondicherry, and she spoke about how the women are not even today considered as, you know, how her parents kept making children because they wanted a boy, and she was one of the 6. uh, this week I'm going to be on Wednesday talking to the lady who was detected of the double sclerosis of the back, and which means her back was like in an S shape, and she was put into a brace right from neck up to her pelvic area, and she stayed in that brace for 8 years. She slept in that brace. She woke up in that brace. Other than 1 hour out of that brace, she had to be in a brace which is made up of metal for almost 8 years of her life. Today she is as old as you and me, and she still carries a mental brace around her. the conditioning that we are getting. Then we're talking about, there was a lady who spoke about how she had experiences after death of people, how she could connect to the souls, and what were the extraordinary experiences that she had. Then we spoke about, there is a lady who is a ballet dancer, and how she realized that she has a condition of a heart which is very difficult to sort out. We've spoken about homosexuality on this, a differently sexuality that you can have. And these are not just ordinary stories. These are stories. These women went out, they transformed themselves, they learned healing, they didn't give up. And then they sat down and wrote this book. And each one cried, howled when they were writing. But that 15 pages of their life and 15 authors coming together, your community coming together, has supported them to that extent that they feel alive. They're out of the vulnerability. They feel alive today at a stage where doctors are saying to them, you might not live. They have everything, every vision where they want to live and move ahead in life. I also did interview the beautiful lady last week on, she's written for Netflix the show called Masaba Masaba, and how she came up with, how she realized that she had tumor in her spinal cord and how she's recovering and recouping from it. So we have stories which are extraordinary, of the women who are extraordinary, and every woman has a story which is extraordinary, which is why you said तुम्हारे साथ ऐसा क्या हो रहा है. फर्क ये है कि तुम्हारे साथ हो रहा है, कुछ करना चाहते हो कि नहीं करना. That's a decision you have to take, a choice that you have to take, to put yourself in a place of a victim or a victor. You decide, you choose, and then you move. So that's what I'm Every Woman is about. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. And no wonder I keep calling you the empoweress. I know finding one's voice जरूरी नहीं है कि हम बोले, right? There are so many means of expression. You can express through art, through colors, through writing, through storytelling, through music, through whatever means, through sound. You do such amazing sound healing sessions. मुझे याद है आपके साउंड बोल के अंदर खड़े होके मैं किसी और लाइफ टाइम में पहुंच गई थी. आई कुड कनेक्ट दी डॉट्स कि मुझे इस इस तरह की फीलिंग्स क्यों होती है, या व्हाई डू आई हैव दैट, the feeling of being a wanderess. I'm not somebody who's traveled into the wilderness, but I wish to do that, and I feel as if my soul has traveled. और जब मैंने वॉन्ड्रस का मीनिंग गूगल किया, हिंदी ट्रांसलेशन किया, तो उसका हिंदी ट्रांसलेशन था पथ भ्रष्ट. No wonder my family never wanted me to be the wanderess.
Wow.
So this is what happens जब आप कम्युनिकेट करते हो और उसको कॉम्प्रिहेंड करते हो. आप शायद कुछ बोलना चाह रहे हैं और सामने वाला उसका कुछ और मीनिंग निकाल रहा है. इसीलिए शायद लोग कहते हैं कि इतनी कहानियां कहने की क्या जरूरत है, तुमको इतनी बातें करने की क्या जरूरत है, चुपचाप आराम से घर में नहीं बैठ सकते, पब्लिक में जाके बात करने की क्या जरूरत है. वॉन्ड्रेस का मीनिंग पथभ्रष्ट नहीं होता है. It is somebody who wants to find themselves And you have been helping people find themselves through various means, especially their voice and sound. अनु कुछ ऐसे इंसिडेंट्स हैं आपके पास जो once people have found their voice या जब उन्होंने अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस किया तो उनकी लाइफ में क्या चेंजेस आए, कैसे चेंजेस आए?
कंचन, हर इंसान अपने आप को ढूंढ रहा है। तलाश से शायद हमारी ना लास्ट डे तक रहती है, टू फाइंड आवरसेल्व्स। सो आई विल से दिस टू यू, मेरे मुताबिक the mind is always trying to complete something. When you find your voice, whether it's in the medium of a dance, whether it's singing, whether it's sound, whether it's screaming, whether it is swimming, whether it is art, whether it's anything, whether it's poetry, then there is a tharav, there is a peace. That peace that you find at that time, तुमने शायद वो पीस को सारी जिंदगी ढूंढा है. So I can give you examples of so many people who, so I will start with, because we spoke about sexual abuse. दूर नहीं जाना पड़ता, कई बार अपने घर में ही, और अक्सर अपने घर में ही ये सारा नजारा हो रहा होता है. So I know of, I won't mention individual cases because I would not like to reveal anyone's identity. But I would like to say this. I know more than a few people who, when I worked with, they found themselves, people who were not able to get pregnant once they, kind of covered up. How do I put it? जो peace आपकी जिंदगी में missing है, whatever, it's not just the peace, P-E-A-C-E. It is the peace, P-I-E-C-E. जो peace आपकी जिंदगी में missing है, both a part of you and how you feel. When you find that, the way you move around, the way you connect to the world, the way people connect to you is entirely different. It's like that day when I found myself on the stage of Salima.
It is like
तुम्हारा
that.
तुम्हारा मरने को भी दिल करता है और जिंदा रहने को भी दिल करता है. फिर आप
बिल्कुल.
चॉइस करते हो कि मैं अब जिंदा रहना चाहती हूँ, क्योंकि जो मैं छुपा रही थी ना इतने सालों से, वो मैंने वैसे ही बता दिया. और मैं सोच रही थी कि लोग मुझे एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेंगे. रियलिटी ये है कि मुझे खुद को पहले एक्सेप्ट करना था, अपने आप को. अब मैंने अपने आप को एक्सेप्ट कर लिया है ना, तो आई डोंट गिव अ डैम कि कोई मुझे एक्सेप्ट करता है कि नहीं करता. वो जो आग है ना तुम्हारे अंदर, उसके बाद वो उठ के बाहर आएगी, क्योंकि आप आग के ऊपर कुछ भी रख दो, वो जल के और बड़ी हो जाती. And then it catches and it becomes bigger and it becomes bigger. And that arg is not arg anymore, it's the glow. It's the glow of being human being. It's a glow of being alive. It's a glow of, it's a glow that is something that nobody can take away from you. Like something like this, that imagine करो ये जो सारी situations है ना हमारी life में, वो rough edges of a matchbox है. अब मैचबॉक्स में अगर सारी साइड स्मूथ होती तो आप मैच स्टिक लेके कहाँ ऐसे चलाते, तीली जलती ही नहीं ना. So then you find a rough area where you will strike your match stick like this and the sparks come out. And so the roughness in our life is to get the sparks out in our life. And every person who touched my life with their story of abuse, they were just finding themselves. And when they did find themselves, they actually could feel the glow coming in. I mean, first time imagine करो कि इंसान ने ना बाय चांस दो पत्थरों को ऐसे रगड़ा, दोनों के दोनों रफ थे एंड आग लग गई. बस कुछ ऐसे ही जैसे कंचन आप और मैंने एक दूसरे को रब किया और आग लग गई आपके इस चाय पे. सो इट इज लाइक दैट. आपको नहीं मालूम है कि ये जो रफ आदमी मेरी जिंदगी में आ रहा है, जो बार बार मुझे नीचे दिखा रहा है, जो बार बार मुझे कुछ तो बता रहा है मेरे बारे में, वो शायद आपका दुश्मन नहीं, शायद गॉड ने उसको स्टेज किया है एज योर बेस्ट फ्रेंड, सो दैट यू कुड स्पार्क एंड बी वेरी वेरी ब्राइट. आज मुझे लगता है कि जो मुझे अब्यूज करने आया था 65 ईयर ओल्ड, उसको वहां रखा गया था, क्योंकि अगर वो वहां नहीं होता ना, तो मेरे दिमाग में, दिल में वो एहसास ही ना होता और एक्सपीरियंस ना होता. और अगर एक्सपीरियंस ना होता, तो आई डोंट थिंक आई कुड हैव हेल्प्ड एनीवन. बुक्स नहीं सिखाती हैं आपको, बुक्स नहीं सिखाती हैं आपको जिंदगी में आपने कैसे चलना है. जिंदगी सिखाती है आपको कि आपने जिंदगी में कैसे चलना है. सो आई एम वेरी वेरी ग्रेटफुल फॉर वॉट एवर हैपन एंड टू रीच दिस प्लेस. अगर कोई मुझे बहुत साल पहले कहता बी ग्रेटफुल, मैंने उसके चांटा लगा दिया होता अच्छा, और एक नहीं 4-5 तो जरूर लगा के आती. बट टुडे आई एम वेरी ग्रेटफुल टू ऑल माई मेंटोर्स, टू ऑल द पीपल हु केम इन माई लाइफ, क्योंकि अगर वो ना होते तो शायद मैं यहाँ ना. I hope I've answered your question.
And to add to that, Anu, uh, जब जब आप अपने अंदर से वो आग, वो दर्द, वो जो गुस्सा, वो जो सप्रेशन, वो जो कुछ एक इमोशन होता है जो आपका दम घोट रहा होता है, चाहे वो चाइल्ड अब्यूज से हो, कई बार होता है इट कुड बी आपका सोल कुछ और मांगता है और आप सबको खुश करने के लिए अपनी जिंदगी किसी और तरीके से जीते हो। कई बार होता है दुनियादारी, शर्म, हया, पर्दा, आपको कई चीजें ऐसी सिखाई जाती है जिस रास्ते पे आप चलते हो। कई बार ऐसा होता है आप रिश्तों को खोना नहीं चाहते। And one of my friends called me up the other day, my childhood friend from my school. She called me up the other day and we were having a conversation and she said, Kanchan, you must have lost so many people during this time because you've been speaking the truth. I said, yeah, she said, you must have lost so many friends. I said, yeah, but they were not friends. Because had they been friends, they would have stuck around, they would have stayed around in my toughest times. They would have stayed around when I was struggling or when I spoke out my truth and I took the courage and the step forward to talk about not just child abuse but the journey of a woman and how many stages and phases of abuse she has to go through. And somehow now वो बात करना liberated me. It liberated me in a way कि I feel that today I feel my smile is genuine. It comes from within me. I feel that joy within me all the time. I feel that childlike happiness and I cannot express it in words. The emotions I have, it is like I am carefree like a little baby would be. कि मुझे
Wow.
कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता क्योंकि क्योंकि मुझे मालूम ही नहीं है कि आगे क्या होने वाला है और जो होगा देखा जाएगा। जब इतना कुछ देख लिए तो आगे जो होगा देखा जाएगा।
बिल्कुल.
And I am in immense gratitude of you and the platforms that you've created for people to voice and express themselves.
Thank you so much.
Anu, there is so much more, and I know that our conversations will carry on, and there will be many more discussions that we will be bringing to people. आज मैं आपसे सिर्फ इतना ही कहना चाहती हूँ कि you have created a space for women, for men, for all of them who were seeking support. And you've given them that voice, you've unmuted their souls, as I must say. I am one of them, and I'm so grateful for your existence. I'm just grateful for your existence.
Thank you, Kanchan. When you were talking, this is what came to me. I have learned under my mentors to be a looking glass, which doesn't become a concave or a convex mirror just because the other person on the other side wants to see himself differently. जो आईना है ना वो सच बोलता है अनअपोलोजेटिकली बोलता है तो वो इसलिए नहीं सच बोलता आपको हर्ट करने के लिए बोल रहा है इसलिए सच बोलता है क्योंकि उस तरीके से उसको पीस मिलता है और वो ये भी कहता है अगर आपको अपनी शक्ल देख के शीशे में आपको लग रहा है कि आप मोटे हो देन गो डू समथिंग अबाउट इट मैंने तो आपको कभी नहीं कहा कि आप मोटे हो मैं तो सिर्फ आपको you decided to look there and you decided to pick it up and अब शीशे में देखोगे भी और वैसे ही दिखना चाहिए जैसे तुमको चाहिए वो पॉसिबल नहीं सो डीप ग्रैटिट्यूड टू ऑल माय टीचर्स जिन्होंने मुझे इतना काबिल बनाया एंड डीप ग्रैटिट्यूड टू माय मम एंड डैड माय मॉम फॉर बीइंग माय स्ट्रेंथ इन अ वेरी साइलेंट वे वो लेडी कुछ नहीं बोलती है आई हैव नेवर सीन समवन with so much of wisdom. She has never interfered in my life. And last 1.5 year has been a lot of soul searching and understanding each other. क्योंकि एक टाइम पे I blamed her and said तुमको दिखाई नहीं दिया कि मेरे साथ क्या हो रहा था? How can you be चुड़ैल mom? How can you do this? फिर समझ में आई कि मैंने अपने फादर को कभी ब्लेम ही नहीं किया रिलेटिव तो उसका था क्यों फादर की आंखें नहीं होनी चाहिए उसको ब्लेम नहीं करना चाहिए व्हाई बिकॉज आवर सोसाइटी सेज कि आदमी को नहीं ब्लेम करना चाहिए फिर समझ में आई कि मे बी आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग समथिंग आउट ऑफ बोथ ऑफ देम तो मुझे ना गॉड ने शायद मॉम एंड डैड उतने अवेयर नहीं थे और उन्होंने नहीं देखा लेकिन मेरे को टीचर्स इतने प्यारे मिले कि जिन्होंने सिर्फ ये देखा तो हर इंसान अपना रोल प्ले करके गया ना कंचन मैं क्यों फिर कह खड़े होके बोलूं कि मेरे मॉम एंड डैड ने मेरे लिए ये नहीं किया मेरे डैड ने हर रोज मुझे पूछा आगे क्या बेटा ये कर लिया अब आगे क्या और मॉम ने हर रोज मुझे बोला कि बेटे तू मेरे घर आ रहा है मैं तुझे आज क्या खिलाऊं पिलाऊं ताकि यू विल बी हैप्पी Look, I'm the luckiest girl on this planet Earth. Because कहीं पे कंप्लीशन जब आप अपने माँ बाप के साथ कर लेते हो ना तो आपका सोल रियल पीस में चला जाता है एंड आई फील दिल से आई हैव नो ग्रीवियंस अगेंस्ट माय मॉम दैट शी डिड नॉट सी कि उनको दिखा क्यों नहीं ये सारे फजूल के सवालात अब सिर्फ सवालात नहीं उनके जवाब मिल गए मुझे सो आई एम इन डीप ग्रैटिट्यूड at the stage of my life when you are interviewing me I'm just in gratitude. I'm just in gratitude and immense gratitude. Thank you.
Guys out there, I was so touched by each word that Anu spoke that I forgot to unmute my mic. Unmute your soul. Unmute everything that is suppressed in your being. Choose your own medium of expression. आपको अगर खाना बना के खुशी मिलती है, do that. If you feel like creating some art and expressing, do that. If you feel like spending time with children and bringing out your expression, do that. If you feel like telling a story through your expressions, do that. Express your emotions, express whatever is suppressed within you. Find your voice, find your soul, find your being. And with that, thank you so much for being a part of Chai Shai, etc. for the last 1 year. I hope that we bring you more such beautiful conversations on Ek Baat. Even if we are able to bring a difference in one life, we know we have touched 7,50,000 lives here on planet Earth. Thank you so much to each one of you for joining us. Good night, Dada Sharanam. Shabakher.